doesn't have to start with the big things, does it? You know, so like checking out what is your go-to small talk? Is it to moan about something? And can you change that go-to small talk to something that is positive?
Oh, I'm Jesus, I've been on a bit talking about the flowers, talking about anything but this negative energy. Like, don't keep spiraling on. This is flu season. Jesus, it's catching, isn't it? No, it's not. It's only catching because your mind tells you it is.
Well, actually, that leads in perfectly to like my massive anxiety attack, because I doesn't have to start with the big things, does it? You know, so like checking out what is your go-to small talk? Is it to moan about something? And can you change that go-to small talk to something that is positive?
Oh,
You know?
you're actually reminded me of something else here. In Ireland, it's either the weather or the person down the road died. I'd be walking down the street in Middleton, and I swear to God, I walked past these two people one day, and all they were talking about was who died. I'm like, Jesus, I've been on a bit talking about the flowers, talking about anything but this negative energy. Like, you know, it's just, oh, please,
And
please talk about something positive.
Your energy affects other people's energy. So if your go-to thing to say to people is the weather is crap, then often the person will reciprocate that. So you passed on your little negative nugget there, haven't you? Like, if you could be the person that can walk into a room and say, isn't it a beautiful day? Or you know, say something good that's happened, because there will be something good that happened. It might just be, oh, it was a beautiful sunset on the way to school today, or you know, the children singing yesterday was amazing, wasn't it? Or whatever it is. Like, choose your small talk.
Yeah.
Because that, just like a thought can spiral down, small talk can spiral down. You can then just end up in a moan.
Yeah.
And all you were doing is try to say hi, essentially, because that's all small talk is. It's like, hi, I see you, we're friendly.
Yeah.
But if your hi, I see you, we're friendly is a moan, and they probably will reciprocate that moan, you're just bringing each other down.
You know, and I've seen this as well. Like, you know, people will start talking about their negative finances, the pain they're in. Oh, here's another one. Actually, just after Christmas, I went into the shop, and like, you know, if you're able to control your body, and you know, we have a healthy immune system. So if you get the sniffles or a flu, you can actually bypass that by saying, "I'm healthy. I don't get sick. Take yourself a lemon, you'll be fine the next day." But if you turn around and say, "Jesus, the flu is catching. It's flu season. I'm going to get flu for 3 days. You're going to be in bed for a week." And I was in the shop, and the cash register and the customer in front of me, "Oh, Jesus, there's a terrible, I can't shake it. I can't shake it. I'm taking everything. I can't shake it." And the customer saying the same thing. And I'm like, the reason you can't take it is because you keep saying you can't take it. Say something like, I had the flu, but my body is healing. You're going to shake it. Don't keep spiraling on. This is flu season. Jesus, it's catching, isn't it? No, it's not. It's only catching because your mind tells you it is.
Well, actually, that leads in perfectly to like my massive anxiety attack, because I was thinking that I wasn't healthy, and I wasn't healthy. I was doing lots of things that wasn't healthy. You know, I was overweight. I was eating bad food. I wasn't exercising at all. But then I got it into my head that there was something wrong with my heart, and I would read things online of the symptoms of a heart attack, and I essentially manifested a heart attack. That's what I did, and I ended up having like I had this what seemed like I was having a heart attack at school, and then they rang an ambulance, and the paramedics put the ECG on me, and it even showed up an anomaly. That's how much you convince your body. That's how much you can convince your body that you're ill. So reading like lists of symptoms of something, self-diagnosing, all that, it just puts it to the forefront of your mind, and your body starts that, you know, you can manifest that stuff. I definitely manifested myself a fake heart attack, you know.
That's it. So speak yourself healthy. It does work.
Definitely. Another thing that when you were talking jumped into my head that I used to do a lot, and probably still do it actually, is if somebody gives me a compliment, I will shit on it. So not massively, but like say someone goes, oh, I like your dress, Carol. I'll go, yeah, it's one my sister gave me.
I
Instead of
used
going,
to do
oh,
that as well.
nice, yeah, I like this colour. I'm like, oh yeah, I got it from a charity shop, or oh
Yeah,
yeah, I've had it for years, or
I
it's
used to
all
be the
still.
same. Like, I just comment on where you got it. Now I've learned that I just say thanks.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
say
just say thanks.
thanks. Yeah. If you can't think of something positive to say about it, just say, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Just
That's
take
it.
it.
That's the thing with everything as well. Like somebody will say something good about something, and we glass half empty it. Like, I don't do that anymore. But I see that with people. It's like they see the negative before the positive. And
Yeah.
I've seen this with narcissists as well. Like, you tell them a good story, and then they will try and find the worst case scenario. Just
You've
negative.
been to 10
Oh,
Tenerife, they've been to 11 Reef.
yeah. Oh my god. Oh, like I said this to this narcissist one time. I was like, Jesus, you're the kind of person who, in a field full of roses, you only see the thorns.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so
honestly,
what we were saying really is that you can be positive in smaller areas, I can't speak, areas of your life, and that can start to change your outlook on life. So it's not even necessarily trying to, so I use gratitude. I've got a long history of using gratitude. So I was introduced to it by Women's Aid when I was pregnant with Elliot, and he's 11 and a half now. So I've known about gratitude very intentionally at times when I'm struggling, because I know it's worked for me in the past. But you don't have to. So I was able to find gratitude in a really tricky situation. If you're not used to doing the positive thought thing or the gratitude thing, that's not the place to start. It's little changes, like saying I get to instead of I have to, changes how you feel about it. Or thinking about your small talk. Do you tend to go for a moan at small talk? And if you do, just notice. And maybe this week it's just like, I'm just going to make a note, a mental note or an actual note of what my small talk is about. Like, how do I speak to somebody when I haven't really got anything to say? And do I tend to lean into the negative? And if you do, it's not your fault. That is how your brain is wired. Our brain is wired to spot the negative. That's why you have to be. It's a protection thing. It's going back to, like we've spoken before, back to the primitive brain, isn't it?
the
So
caveman mentality. Like,
yeah,
if we do anything out of the norm, it's going to, we're going to get eaten by a saber-tooth tiger. This is not what we're going through anymore. And that's the thing. It's just the tiny little things that can help improve you. And go back to gratitude there for a second. We can be, as you were, in the most worst situation of your life. And it is hard, especially for somebody to say, oh, you've got a lot to be grateful for. But if you just try, write down 3 little things in your life, look around for a second, see 3 little things in your life that you are grateful for. And that list will get bigger. I was in a spiral before. I was crying every single day. I thought I'd lost everything, even though the toxic relationship that ended was for the good. And I literally was spiraling. I was like, I have nothing. I am alone. I have nothing. And then when I started learning the gratitude thing through the law of attraction, I didn't want to do the same as you did. I was like, this is bullshit. But I started to write, and I was like, my animals, my health, my job, my home, there's food in the place. I have a car. I live in a really, really nice area. And I noticed the list kept getting bigger and bigger. And I was like, hold on a second. These little things in our life are actually the biggest things. They really are. And they can help you. They can help you to see a light when there is only darkness. They really can.
yeah. Well, when Women's Aid helped me, I was the same. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, are you being serious? You want me to write a list of things I'm grateful for? Like, that is going to change anything. Like, how is that going to change all these other things that are going on in my life? But because I was desperate to feel different. And so I was like, I've got nothing to lose by doing this. And at first it was really hard. It was really hard to find something that I could feel grateful for. And so then I actually remember saying to myself, bloody hell, I found it really hard to write 3 things down today. I'm going to have to look for it. And that's exactly what we're doing. The more that we write gratitude down and it becomes a practice, is that then your brain is looking for it. I had to consciously look for it. But what happens when you have a gratitude practice, or you express gratitude regularly, that my battery's dying on my thing, is that your subconscious looks for it. So then you're not having to do the work. It's just rewiring your brain to spot those things. And like we say, if you find it hard to think of things that you're grateful for, that's not your fault. That's just the way it's your brain's default setting, and that's how lots of people feel. And it's not your fault, but we can be intentional to change it. And it doesn't have to be to start off in the darkest areas of your life. So when I was finding things to be grateful for, it was certainly nothing to do with the things that was causing me pain at the time. It was to do with it was to do with other little things in my life that I'm grateful for. If you are able, though, my light's gone off, it's because my thing went off. If you are able to find a positive in the darkness, that is super powerful, though.
It really can. And I've gone through spirals. I had money issues before, and I could go through this stress spiral. This was when I had my relapse, and I was afraid of everything. I just had fear, and I'd have these anxiety attacks about money, and I just wouldn't be able to get my mindset out of it. So what I did was I wrote down as if it was already paid. So I said, thank you for the money to pay this bill. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. And in a few minutes, my anxiety attack would alleviate. And it does actually help it did help me personally in those situations of deep fear and deep spirals. Just write it down. So say thank you as if it's already happened, and write it down. And it actually does help it's like medicine in that split second to help me just get out of that spiral. It does very much work. Like,
I remember actually, do you remember when I was like, I've got no time, I'm like, I'm gonna have to change that. So I spent a couple of weeks going, I've got so much time, and I ended up getting, my time is completely wrong somehow. And we always meet before Mindset Live, and I was like, that week I kept on saying, I've got loads of time, and I logged on and I was like, right, how are you doing, Angela? And
I just go, like, do you know what time it is? An hour earlier, like.
And there was, I can't remember what else, but there was another.
The next morning you text me. You were after getting up and ready to say tenant. I
got ready for work, and I was like, dressed, ready, about to go out the door, and I was like, right, kids, it's 7:30. What time is it? What time do I leave? I think I said it's 7:30. You should be down here by now. And Elliot showered down, Mum, it's 6:30. Got up an hour early.
If he had said that, you would be sitting in the school car park going, Jesus, school's not open today.
Yes. I was like, I'm going to have to stop saying this. And I'll end up being an hour early for everything. But that's
not a bad thing. It gives you, for you could have an hour earlier in the morning to fit in all those other things. But keep saying that. Like, if you say you're too busy, the universe is going to make you even busier than you are. It's going to bring in more for you to say, I'm too busy. But if you say, the universe opens up time for me, I have all the time in the world, you will have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
You really will. It's all about how you speak. And that's the thing. Positive speech is so important. It really is. I find myself, like, all the time now, I would be grateful. I'll open the press or make a cup of tea. I'll say thanks. If I get a green light, a traffic light, I'll say thank you. These kind of things, simple things like that. And like, I'm manifesting things left, right, and centre. I just listed things that I want to buy for myself. And I literally walked into the shop and everything on my list was there. And these are the extras, like.
What about that weren't you Atomic Habits? Wasn't there something around?
Yeah, like I went into I was wanting to get Atomic Habits for ages, and I went into the local charity bookshop. The charity, and it's a tiny little bookshop in this back street in a small town. And I went in and I manifested this book, and there was another book, I can't remember, Viktor Frankl, I can't remember the name of it now, but another book that a friend recommended. the two of them looking at me, staring at me, and then The Tower by Rhonda Byrne was the three of them looking at me, staring at me. And I went in there last week actually, and I got a lovely oracle deck, the Goddess Oracle deck, and a crystal healing book.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Books suited for me. Like, you know, this is a small town, and yet these spiritual books are being presented to me in these random little places. But these strange things are coming into the shop that I was like, I need this, I need this, I need this. Like, you know, the stuff that I'm upgrading in my house. I was like, oh, that's it. Everything I want is there, because I'm literally instantly manifesting, because my mindset has changed from negativity into positivity. When we live in love and not in fear, the things we want are literally right at our fingertips. This highest timeline is giving us everything we want. I have reframed my thoughts from, you know, I used to be like, oh, I want this, but, you know, the doubt will creep in. Now I'm saying I have a magic wand and I can create anything. We should all live like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think there was like, you know, Darren Brown, the mind guy, he did something on something to do with like belief work. Like I think it was something like there was either a lottery ticket or there was £20 note on the floor, and the people that believed they were unlucky didn't see it, but the people who thought they were lucky saw it and picked up the £20 note or whatever it was. I can't remember the details of it, but he showed that like whether if you believe you're lucky or you're not lucky, it's whether you notice the opportunity. And when you have it's like, what glasses have you got on? And your mind is bombarded with so much information from all your senses, outside and inside your body, constantly. It can't process it all, so it distorts it, it deletes it, and I can't remember the other word, but there's another word. So it changes it to fit what it expects to see.
Yeah.
So if you expect to see that people don't like you, your brain will cherry pick the evidence that people don't like you. You know, it's just like when you're at work, say as a teacher, I would go around with a mindset thinking that people didn't think I was a good teacher, or that people didn't like me. And people are usually in their own world. You know, it's not about you a lot of the time. It's about them. But you would clock someone's face as they walk past you, or you might wave and they might not wave back because they're in their own world. And then your mind goes off on this big spiral about, oh, what have I done? Have I said something? Or is there something that I've forgotten to do? Or that person doesn't like me? And it's just in your head. You know, that person could be having a bad day, or they might be concentrating on something else. Just like when you get an email and it says somebody was sat at the desk, and then you're like, was that me? Did they walk past my desk? You know, it's my classroom, and you can cherry pick all the negative stuff and then make it about you. and it's not the case at all, you know, just a general email to everybody.
But
so
this perception, and you described the other side of that coin, is you'll go into work and you'll start these days and you'll be all happy seeing all the nice, colourful banners, whatever. Whereas a lot of people are going into work looking at the floor going, Jesus, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. And they don't even see those colours or those banners because they're looking down, they're looking at the negative. Whereas when you're looking up, that's it, your perception. And you get to see the signs, the synchronicities, the positivities, those green lights from the universe when you're living in that positive mindset.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the negative mindset, you're seeing all the cracks. You know what I mean? I'm like, there's so many superstitions, like, you know, don't walk under a ladder or don't walk on the cracks in the pavement. That was somebody suffering from depression and negativity. There's no such thing as superstition. It's all about your mindset.
Yeah. It's what you expect. You get what you expect.
Yeah. Exactly. So if you think it's bad luck to walk under a ladder, then you're going to get bad luck. But if you say to yourself, that's just some negative person who invented superstition, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. And it's not to say that people in life won't treat you badly, and that we're going, people like me will mean that everyone will treat you with respect. That's not the case. However, you know, you will not interpret situations that are benign as bad if you have the right mindset. And I think in in the school setting where we're all stressed, we've got a lot of pressures, a lot of deadlines. People can, you can feel like you're not liked, or you can feel like, you've upset somebody, and it's just them in their world trying to deal with their stuff, and it's not really about you. And in fact, arguably, if somebody is mean to you, that is also their stuff, not yours.
Exactly. And like I said this in my videos before, nothing external can hurt. No, the external thing can only hurt you based on your own level of wounding. Yeah. So if somebody says something, it actually is a reflection of what you need to heal if it's upsetting you. Because that person can't upset you if you're healed enough to know that that isn't about you. It's just a reflection of what they're going through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Because the only reason that you will be, if you're hurt by somebody else's words, it's because of one of two reasons. It's either that you respect their opinion more than your own, or that your own opinion is the same. So if somebody says something, oh, like you're a rubbish teacher, or you're not good at this or whatever, then if you had high self-worth, and you were like, well, I might not be the best at that, but I know that I'm not terrible at it, or actually I think I'm quite good at that, it wouldn't affect you.
Exactly.
You'd be like,
that's what we need to heal ourselves. Yeah, it's our level of healing. Like, if somebody says something negative against you, you can say to yourself, that's wrong, because I know I'm good enough. I know I can do this. So it is based on your own inner triggers and your own wounding at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. Right, that's an hour.
Wow, that's brilliant. So do we have that last quote? Oh yeah, you want to summarize first?
Basically, it's okay to have all of the emotions. That's natural. You're a human being. You will have all the emotions. Don't try and push it down. Give yourself time and space to process that. You will usually find that it will sort of dissipate or whatever. Yes, positive thoughts is a great thing. Gratitude is a great thing, but we have to time it right and know ourselves well, or know the other person well, to know if it is the right thing to do or whether it's going to be harmful. And a great place to start, we don't have to, if you find that you're in lots of negative thought patterns, you don't have to be tackling all of those at once. You can start off with little things like, what's your small talk like? Are do you default to moaning about something for general small talk, or are you able to change that to something more positive? Instead of saying I can't do something, I have to do something, try switching it to I get to, and see how you feel about that. Yeah.